Have you declared your assets yourself, or you are forfeiting 3 months or 4 months salary?
Hello?
Yes, have you yourself declared your assets?
Oh, yes, I have. I did that a long time ago, way before the deadline.
Which means that your 3 months salary will be intact, except the 1 month that you've had to contribute. How seriously is the president taking this issue of asset declaration? Because he sounded very tough there.
Exactly. I mean, you can tell from the severity of the sanctions imposed and the new deadline that he has set that he means business. Because 3 months salary plus another month, making 4 months salary, is pretty steep for anybody who knows how important salaries are in the life of a human being. It goes to show that the president is committed to enforcing compliance with the asset declaration regime. And this also goes to show that there is a president who is committed to making sure that his appointees conduct themselves in accordance with specific laid down regulations, so that people do not veer off and do things that are contrary to the demands of their office. So the president is extremely serious about it.
I see. And also threatening to sack people from his government if they do not declare their assets. Tell me more about what his plan is on that. So
people have from the rest of, in fact, today is done because the day has closed. So they have the whole of tomorrow to ensure that they declare the assets. If by Wednesday they've not done it, then they can only have themselves to blame. The president will enforce the intended action of dismissing them from office because they've had considerable time to have done all this well.
Interesting there, but again, he appears to want to push the funds or the proceeds of this indiscipline, if there will be any, into the Mahama case. Why that?
Well, I think that we all appreciate the difficulty that people have footing the high cost of treating certain chronic diseases. And only last week, man, exactly a week ago from today, President Mahama launched the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which people popularly call Mahama Case, intended to raise some funding to help those who are in need and who need treatment for various chronic diseases. The president himself donated 6 months' salary. The health minister donated 3 months of his salary. I was present, so I donated 1 month salary. And the president has asked all appointees to donate 1 month salary. So those who are defaulted will have another 3 months added to make 4 months. And through that, we will raise substantial funds to help with the work of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. But it also goes to show that the president is not interested in anybody's money. He is sanctioning people and using the proceeds for a worthy cause. So that even as you fail to comply with his directive, the effect of the sanctions imposed on you will go to benefit others who otherwise would have had difficulty footing their medical bills.
Okay, now the understanding I'm getting is that there are already persons who fail to declare assets whose 3 months salary would have to be forfeited. Is that accurate?
That is true. All those who were appointed or nominated before the deadline, they are the ones affected by this. Those who were appointed after the deadline can, in all fairness, not be asked to forfeit this amount, especially when they've not necessarily breached the directive. But those who were in office or were nominated before 31st March are affected by this.
How many people have been affected? How many appointees have been affected?
Well, I think that I would have to reconcile the figures, but I must indicate that the publication by the Fourth Estate was not exactly accurate. There were people who had actually filed their asset declaration forms who were erroneously placed on that list. So it is not as high as the Fourth Estate indicated, but it is a number that we can reconcile because on a daily basis, people file, and so the numbers reduce. So we need to get to the deadline before we are able to tell how many have actually complied.
So you don't know how many as of now?
Yeah, because as of 31st March, there was a certain number. As I speak to you, there are people who are filing today. So it will not be fair to give you a number because that number could prove to be inaccurate in light of additional filings that would have been done today. By close of day tomorrow, we will give you a final figure. And those who would have defaulted would be in for the punishment that the president outlined.
And would you also tell us the names of these persons?
Well, if the president so direct me, I'll do so.
Okay, but you do not have that readily available to share with us?
No, I'm not in a position to disclose that at this moment. I think it's only fair that we allow the people the grace period given them before we are able to comment in that direction.
The non-declaration within the stated period, is it an illegality or it is just a breach of an instruction by the president?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that there's a 6-month window in the constitution and the law, if I'm not mistaken. So the breach as of now is a breach of a directive.
Okay, not of the law.
Exactly. But once you breach the law, when the deadline elapses, you are liable for dismissal, removal from office, and being banned from holding public office for up to 10 years. So there are pretty stiff sanctions for violating this provision in the law.
Very well. Before you go, I do know that there are plans to give us some details around the 120-day compact with Ghanaians. Could you quickly tell us about that plan before you leave us?
Oh, yes. On Wednesday, the president will hold a broadcast in which he will render account for his stewardship in the last 4 months or 120 days. And therefore, I would urge Ghanaians to tune in and listen to the president so that they can draw their own conclusions as to the level of compliance with the very promises that the president made to the people of Ghana.
So he's going to tell us what status of
yes,
policies.
He will give an update on what he has been doing in respect of the 120-day promises. So he will pick each one and account for its implementation.
In the past, we have had Meet the Press series with presidents. President Mills did that. President Mahama did that. President Akufo-Addo did it, I think, once or twice and stopped. Is John Mahama, the president, going to reinstate that? Should we expect an invitation to come and question the president?
Yeah, the president is very media friendly, and you know it. Even in opposition, he was opening himself up for scrutiny, both to traditional media and to social media. And he used to do Facebook Lives, he used to go on Twitter Spaces to engage people in the comfort of their homes. So he is very committed to running a transparent administration, and part of that is meeting the press regularly. He will meet the press at a designated time, and we will announce that for everybody to hear. But on Wednesday, that's May 7th, he will do a broadcast in which he will outline the implementation status of the 120-day promises.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
The pleasure is mine.
That's Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu. He's Minister of State in charge of Government Communications and MP for Abra Sebu Kwamankese. Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner. He's joined us on the line.